3 dog food brands that I recommend as a pet nutrition coach. That might shock you. First on the list is Iams. Personally, I think this is a really great food, and for the price point, you can't beat it. If you take a second to look at the ingredient list, you'll see that it's actually really nice. We have lamb and rice, and then chicken byproduct meal, which is really just the leftover chicken pieces that are ground up, which, if you think about it, in raw diet, that's pretty much what we do anyway. You also have things like corn and carrots and beet pulp and even chicken meal. All of these are really great for fillers as well as basic proteins. But the big thing I want to talk about that people have issues with are these vitamins. Unfortunately, when you cook food, it does decrease the vitamin levels significantly. And so you're not going to get all the required vitamins from all of the stuff up top. That's just not how it works. So you do have to add vitamins in if you're not feeding a raw diet. Our next food is the Purina Pro Plan, particularly the Performance, which is the 30/20. I love this food. Unfortunately, a lot of people are up in arms about the recall going on recently, but it really just means that Purina is doing their due diligence to go through all the steps of testing their food and finding issues with it if and when there are, because then everybody's going to have an issue at some point. It's no difference than the supermarkets or even at your own house. Things happen. And so they're taking their time and they're doing their testing to make sure that if there is an issue, they're finding it. This picture's a little small, but if you look, the ingredients are actually very similar to Iams. We have beef and rice. We also have poultry byproduct. We've got some corn in there, some beef fat. And again, you're really looking at those minerals. Like I said, when you have a cooked meal, especially cooked into such a small, moistureless kibble, you need to be able to add the vitamins in because you're not going to get them even if you have a fully balanced, rounded meal. Overall, I highly recommend this brand, and I think that anybody who wants a moderate priced food, maybe a little bit on the higher side, definitely shoot for this one, and it's usually in your local supermarkets. The third food we recommend is going to be this Open Farm, particularly the Ancient Grain recipe. I always tell people if your dog does not need to be on a grain-free diet, do not feed them a grain-free diet, because if they do develop any kind of issues, they have nowhere to go after that. So these Ancient Grain recipes are really great. Unfortunately, this is on a little bit higher price range, but for people who really want to spend that time and money, this is a great option. So if you look at their ingredients, you see that it's really high quality food. They have ingredients such as beef and oats and whitefish meal, and then you have multiple different types of grains such as mullet, quinoa, and brown rice. You also have pumpkin, carrots, apples, cranberries, and salmon oil. Unfortunately, this really doesn't look much different than your Purina Pro Plan or your Iams. Some of it's just a little bit more processed, such as the chicken byproduct meal versus your fish meal. It's not really a whole lot of difference. It just kind of depends on your preference. The only thing to be careful with this brand is that sometimes they break down the ingredients to just read off what they are without actually giving you a percentage. So like over here, it shows you the max of what they have. Just be careful with that. Sometimes they'll simplify the ingredients when really they're just trying to hide certain things. So this is a great food. It's on the more expensive side. A lot of times you have to order it. But if this is something that your dog likes or you feel like you really want to provide for them, it's a great option.